hold on. Quick little tangent here. You know what I think? I think this is your chance to get inside my brain, make me simmer down, and talk with you. Because I have to do it cordially on video. And
I know. I left our whole fight in that one.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I think Katie thinks this is really fun because she gets to have a calmed down Dan who's trying to
He can't yell at
get
me
his
on
big
camera.
boy words out calmly.
No, but then that might create stored up energy that you need to go your energy. You're like spring. You need to go release it.
Or tornado or hurricane.
Okay. What's your topic?
Yeah, I know. I need to stop right there. Why estimates change after the diagnosis?
Yes, and we can go back to that one. Let me preface this with, in my mind, quote and estimate are two different words, two different meanings. Quote is a fixed price. Estimate can fluctuate.
But if I skip all the way to the bottom, what catches my eye right here is why the cheapest repair is often the most expensive later. Ooh, that's a good one too. I think we're going to stick with those two topics right there.
Okay, let's start with the estimate. Why it can change, because we can be really quick on that one.
Why estimates change after after the diagnosis. Okay.
After the original estimate's given, right? Okay,
Yep.
I'm coming. I got my estimate for my starter because I know you like your big three.
Okay.
So I've got my estimate for my starter.
Okay.
And it's going to cost me $999.99 because, fun numbers.
Okay.
And I've approved that.
Okay.
In my mind, as a customer, I'm paying you $999.99. Why are you coming back to me for more money?
Okay. So see, I can do this one easily.
I know. That's why I gave you a starter.
And why my boys couldn't do this, I don't know. More educated.
No, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about you and the customer.
All right. So
why does the estimate change after I've already approved it?
I got into your car,
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed the starter was, I did a starter test, and it's really, really weak. Okay, but what caused that is the alternator is intermittently charging, causing a weak battery. What happens when we have a weak battery and the engine's trying to crank over with low voltage in a battery? You can literally watch the cables heat up under a temp gun. It smokes the internal brushes in the starter, but all of that was caused because the alternator was intermittently charging, barely keeping the battery up to par. You keep cranking the engine with low voltage. Now I've ruined, basically the alternator ruined everything because now we had low cranking amps. We were heating the
Okay, maybe that
up.
wasn't a good example because you already know that all those three systems come into play. But because I'm trying to.
Okay, so I get you though. Okay, so let's go this a different route. Okay, why estimates change after the diagnosis? Okay, so what if I pull that starter out and I see the teeth all chewed up, right? And I'm like, ooh, that starter just turned the engine over. There's a big tooth in there. And I get in there and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to call her back. Look at this. Look at the starter gear, the flex plate or flywheel, which the starter engages and turns the engine over.
And you can't see that as a technician when it's all put together?
I can't see that until
you only see that until you pull it out, right?
Right, and certain spots of that wheel sometimes don't always get it. And you get in there and you see some teeth that are okay, and you're like, oh, look at that. Starter's chewed up. It ruined that flywheel or flex plate. Now I have to pull the transmission to replace that. And that's
oh, dear Lord.
Tons and tons.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we went from $1,000 quote or $800, whatever that starter replacement may be, to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, right?
Right.
And then what if I get in there and I'm like, hey, the rear main's leaking. It's starting to leak. We should probably take care of this while we're in here, right? So that's what the technicians feeding the service advisor what they see. So it's like it's either we put our blinders on and don't see none of that and don't tell you anything. Then you come back. Well, it went to another shop and they said my rear main's leaking. How come you didn't tell me that when you had the transmission out? And you're like, So there's so many things that the poor technician gets to deal with, and then it all feeds through the translator, the service advisor,
Right.
and that poor gal. Oh
And
my
that's
goodness.
the hardest job. It
That's
really
hard.
is. It
Right.
really is a hard job.
That's a hard job. So
It's a job I did not like.
no, I know, but it takes somebody like you or Elena that's very
it does take
very
a
good with your
special
words.
person to be in that position, a compassionate,
Yep.
an empathetic person,
Understanding.
to be in that situation of, okay, I have to take the technicians, so I'm taking Chinese in,
Yeah.
and I'm spitting out Spanish
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
So I have to be bilingual.
Yeah.
And and understand the
Yep.
energetics of each person, and to be able to remain calm and rooted in my own self to explain both sides.
Because now we're dealing with a mom who is taking care of the family obligation with the mechanical, and she doesn't feel like she's capable of doing that, because now husband just broke his hip. He's out of commission. It's the son's car. He doesn't know what he's talking about, but the mom is the best one for this situation, and she's got to deal with this. This literally just happened to us.
Yeah. I was hearing about this.
The husband,
That super sucks.
the husband's super hurt. The son's not really
That's a lot
realizing
on her plate right now.
all of the complexity by not fixing certain parts on his car. That
And oh my
it puts
God,
the
though,
shop
it's
in
a
danger.
Honda. Like, I was like, what? It's a Honda.
It's a Honda. Man,
Why?
this one was a good one. Why estimates change after diagnosis, right? And then I got to go back and go, okay, now it's my shop liability. So do I let this one go and say, hey, I hope everything works out for your son and that he doesn't get in an accident because some of the ADAS features are not working. But if he gets in an accident,
There's another soapbox for me.
The insurance company is going to come after my business so damn hard.
I have a lot of soapboxes in your industry.
Ooh, man. And insurance won't be nice, and the judge won't be nice.
No, because you're the expert,
Because
and
I'm the
you know
professional.
what you're talking about,
Yep.
and you are
I
the one that is the
should not have.
middleman who, again, regulations in the industry. I can sue a doctor. He can get sued for malpractice. But what happens with, anyways, that's a whole nother topic again. But yes.
That's crazy.
So I know. I'm frustrated in the fact that you guys are not regulated, and not regulated to the effect of a whole bunch of rules that you have to follow.
Yeah.
Regulated to the fact of it pulls the shady tree people who are technicians, wannabe business owners who have no business being a business owner and dealing with the public out of the picture. So there's that whole side of it. But yes, so on their
Allowing
estimate,
them to reflect as me or somebody at my
Right.
competence or
right.
value level.
The parts changer has now become a business owner,
Yep.
and the parts changer is just a parts changer and does not
Yep.
know how to properly repair your vehicle, which brings me back to the whole ADOS situation that was a part of, because her brakes were electronic on the
Mm-hmm.
Honda. And so that was a whole situation of that needed to go off and be calibrated.
Yep.
And if it wasn't going to be calibrated, then the light wasn't going to get turned off. And
Yep.
then that puts that liability on us, because if
and
something
for-
goes wrong.
For the technicians that are on our status level in the shops that are up there, they understand this. But for the ones that think, oh, that ADOS has nothing to do with your brakes, if they think like that, a low brake pedal. No. Okay. So
Until a stupid car sees
when
behind
that front
me.
camera, when that front camera is viewing in front and the kid's on his phone, right, not paying attention, and that dash lights up, blinks red, and goes and takes the brakes and goes and flashes lights in his eyes, and he goes, oh my God, puts his phone down and because it just happened to me. I just seen somebody do it, and the lights on the dash went off, the ADOS, the camera seen him coming up too fast, and it lit that dash up, it vibrates, shakes brakes, pulses the ABS, and then it alerts him really good, and that gets his attention to the road and goes, oh my God. So that system is inoperative when, I have a brake light on, the camera can't see the front, and the code is for the front camera. So all of that has to be calibrated back with the ABS system so it knows how far he's away and things like that. So yeah, it's on
And
me.
2 millimeters equals 20 feet.
Yep. And that camera can be off 2 millimeters, and that's 20, 40,
That's a dead
60
bicyclist.
feet. That's a dead bicyclist. That's a rear end. That's 10-car pileup. That's a dead kid that didn't see that.
You shouldn't park there. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, you know you can't park there?
Yeah, you can't park. Hey, you can't park there. You can't park there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's what happens.
But so little things like that is why estimates change, is because we're seeing it as a whole. And until you take things apart and actually see everything,
Yeah.
is why the estimates change. But then it sucks for the service advisor to have to go back 3, 4, 5 times.
It does.
There was one last week where she's
I
like,
know.
I got it. I'm like, you know what? Give them the courtesy discount of like, our bad. We messed up on this one because it truly was our fault.
Yeah.
Give them the discount.
I didn't see that in the inspection worded the way I put it out, and usually this part comes with this, and I screwed up. We're going to give you that. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm.
So that's why estimates
And
change.
I backed off, and I says, Gage, I says, what does it say right there? Yeah, you called it. And then she comes out to me and says, hey, it didn't come with it. I'm like, I realize what happened. Go ahead and give it to him. I get that. I don't want you to have to call him back in, because now it's crunchy. I don't like that feeling. Like, just give him some ball joints. We'll take care of him. I've seen it. I understood.
I was like, how much are they?
I'm not perfect.
Yeah. So we ate that, but that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Totally fine. Now, what was the other one you liked?
Ooh.
What was the other one you wanted to talk about?
There's 2 here. Why shops charge diagnostic fees, but then the bottom one was because I think that one's ties into why some repairs snowball into others, right? So let's go.
But why they charge diagnostic fees, and whether or not you, as a consumer, customer, guest, whatever you want to call your people today, realize it or not, you're being charged a diagnostic fee in the cost in the first place. We charge it up front.
Yeah.
We don't bury it in the cost of the repair like some other shops do, who advertise free diagnostic.
Yeah.
No, it's not free, guys.
Yeah.
It's not free. They're just not telling you.
Okay. So we can go back to the coil pack issue where they called a motor, but I saved them $5,000. Or no, because that was like a $10,000 install. So I saved them like $9,500. I saved them. Anyway, why shops charge diagnostic fees? Let's go to, I will spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I know there's level tiers, but I'll do so much research, and you're probably getting like probably $1,000 value with what I put out there. And I know we don't like to pay the $200 for the doctor to tell us what's wrong, but hindsight, in the end, don't we really appreciate? Like, I went to the doctor.
I'm not walking in the door expecting the doctor to tell me why I'm sick for free.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be a cost.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, and then sometimes you get a really educated doctor that likes to tell you all the things that'll help you prevent this and what you should be eating. And that's probably really good to hear, right? Instead of just eating fast food every day and going,
yeah, but we already know that as a society. We know what's good for us and what's bad for us. It's just a matter of choice.
That's beating a dead horse, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So why
Look,
the cheapest?
I like my McDonald's like the CEO does.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, right. Huh. Why the cheapest repair is often the most expensive later. Why is that?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, what do you think?
Because an idiot's doing the repair and he's just trying to make $1 on me?
That was horrible.
No. You got me in a sassy mood.
Oh my God. Now this is David and Lucas, and I'm Lucas over here laughing like there's so much truth to that, but
They
I'm
all
not gonna...
drive shit boxes.
There you go. They all drive shit boxes.
Sorry, guys. Well, I can't help myself some days. You get the
They're
sassy
all
one.
shit boxes, right?
Oh, okay. I understand literally what we see. I understand why the thought process of the Canadian Prime Minister wants to get 20-year-old cars, like if it's over 20 years, off the road, Because if we see something that's 20 years old, that's not a classic car, it is a shitbox.
Yeah.
So why the cheap repairs turn into more expensive repairs is because they have, in my thought process, is because they unknowingly or are ignorant in the terms of the definition, unknowing, they don't know the repairs and maintenance that comes along with owning a car. And so they don't do it. And so when something actually breaks, now, because I haven't maintained my fluids along the way in the cheap aspect of a yearly maintenance cycle, I have to maintain my vehicle $1,000 a year, maybe, fluids and maintenance. Let's spread that out over the whole year for $1,000. But if I ignore that for 20 years and think now something's broken and now I'm spending $15,000 on my car that's 20 years old in one shot instead of maintaining the thing. I mean, that's my thought process. I don't know.
Or can we go back to, see that's a hard one for me because we should go back. We should go back for a second and go,
They're all shit boxes.
well, now I'm putting my blinders on because it didn't have that problem.
Right.
You're the rip-off mechanic because my car wasn't doing that. Right. Because we could go right there because that's usually what it is.
Okay, so that's like I ate McDonald's for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
What was that movie? What was that movie?
Oh, Super Size Me.
Yeah, there you go. So if you guys want to bring the 90s back, go watch that movie. It's early 2000s. But all he did was what, for 30 days? Was it only 30 days?
Maybe longer. It was 30, at least 30. I know that for at least, right?
Right?
And
so
was all
he
jacked
did.
up.
All he did was eat
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
McDonald's, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if they ask, this is why they don't say supersize you. Would you like to supersize that anymore? Because of this show. Was because if they asked him if he wanted to supersize it, he had to say yes. Like that was part of the rules of the experiment. So whenever they said, would you like to supersize it? He said yes. So that's what he ate. Knowingly, he did this as an experiment. He had a healthy body, did this for 30 days, whatever it is, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then tested his body afterwards, and it turned to shit. So I think a lot of people do the lowest aspect maintenance they can because it's not a priority for them, especially right now in the economy that we're in. The priority now, this week, is how am I going to pay for the gas?
Yeah.
Right? Let alone how am I going to pay for that repair?
Yeah, I'm not excited about the fuel prices right now.
But that's the mindset. Is like I'm literally just trying to survive and live after all the raising costs that we've just seen over the last 6 years and just go,
That's horrible.
and our housing market has skyrocketed, but our wages and nothing else has kept up with all of this. And so people are just trying to live.
Yeah.
And so I think until their supersize me car breaks, they don't think about or want to think about how am I going to fix this when it does break, because cars are bound to break. There's too many moving parts, too many rubber gaskets that deteriorate, too many hoses that, there's things that have to be maintained.
Yeah.
People don't think about that.
Yeah.
The majority of people. There are some that do know.
Right. Yeah. And
The
they're
majority
usually
of
the ones
people-
with their manual out going, it says to do this, this, and this. Can you guys do that? And they're looking at their manual and you're like, the golden chalice. Ta-da!
Yeah.
My favorite customer.
But even me, being so close to the industry, I don't think about the repairs that I have to make.
Little Miss printed her own schedule list out, and now Dad, I get to do the crap.
I wanted it to go to Carfax. Now I know. Now I know that there is a list behind it. See, I was uneducated, and now I'm educated, and now I want the maintenance done.
But
That's the thing. You have to educate
I
the
opened
people.
my pocketbook up to do it.
I'm sorry.
The shop doesn't get paid to do it.
I know I get discount.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Listen.
And then she wants to be first priority. I waited 2 weeks.
No. Yeah, exactly.
No. We have paying customers, lady.
Sir. I patiently waited 2 weeks and I said nothing about it. And I was 600 miles over. And you told me Wait, no. This is about maintaining vehicles. You
So
told
you're making
me.
me look horrible right now.
I know.
I told her to go to a 3,000-mile oil change when
Yeah.
the manufacturer recommends 5 or 6.
But
So now
because-
she's cut in half, and she couldn't wait an extra week. And even though she's half time under, now I'm like, I waited an extra 500 miles,
600.
600, but I wasn't technically due for another 3,000.
No, sir. I was already over 3, so I was at 3,600 now. But listen, it's because you
God.
told me. It's because you told. I was listening to my mechanic, and he told me that my oil looked really bad at 5,000 miles, and because it's a low mileage car already, and he was really worried about what my oil looked like at
It looked like
5,000.
water.
So there you go. So I'm listening to my mechanic and bitching that my mechanic told me to do something, and now he's not doing it.
At 5,000.
Just saying.
I
was
To be
listening.
honest, let's hop on there real quick because I'm glad we did it, and I know I'm just trying to take care of the customers first, but it ultimately comes out of my pocketbook. Either
Yeah,
way,
you're the
if I
one that's
don't-
got to replace the engine.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a Kia, so I've been beat down about this one by other technicians, and I won't go there.
Okay. Also, though,
But
we
when I drain that oil,
But we bought me a cheap car. We bought
Okay.
me a cheap car because I put mileage on my car.
okay,
So, am I going to buy my dream car of a 4Runner that is army green, that has all the Outlander outfitted, so I can just disappear into the forest for days when I put 100 miles a day on the car?
here, hold on, stop. You're jumping.
I sidetracked you.
You're
So-
jumping ahead here, but on the maintenance.
Yes.
Let's go back to that maintenance for a minute because when I drained your oil at 5,000 miles, when Kia wanted it done, no wonder why engines don't last. It looked like black coffee and the viscosity was thin like that. And I'm like, it looked like freaking water coming out of here. Wasn't gas or anything. It just broke the 4.5 quart oil system down like it was nothing.
At 27,000 miles.
And it looked horrible. It looked
27,000.
disgusting, thin. Like, I don't know how
It's a
these
brand new
engines-
car.
I don't know how these engines are lasting. Back in the day, you pull a dipstick on a car, on a 60s or 70s car, and it was beautiful. It may have been black, but it was nice and thick and smooth on my finger. Yours was like pea water on my hands. No viscosity. I'm like, how does the poor thing live? How is it alive?
So when my mechanic tells me 3,000 miles
Yeah, I know.
because of that, and it's at 3,600, I'm like, hey, Mr. Mechanic. Hey,
I just
I'm
love-
going to get yelled at.
Yeah, I just loved how I could feel the tension. Like if I didn't get her car done, I would have.
I only mentioned it one time.
I would have been on the couch that night.
Lies.
No.
I
It was a little rough though.
No, but I sat on the job board for 2 weeks. Car was there.
I thought you were just putting it up there so like, hey, we got to get this done soon because I don't want to go. I don't want you to say, hey, my oil is really thin again, right? Like, so we should schedule that
So
for
that's
an early morning.
That's how cheap repairs end up expensive.
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't ever listen to them. I'm sorry, everybody. Don't listen to manufacturers on your oil changes. Please do not. At 5K, I can't believe this. No wonder why engines don't last. Like if we change it at 3 and keep it really healthy oil, it's gonna go 10 times as long, like at least.
Also, I had to replace 2 tires in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, you should quit racing that thing.
Shut up. That's not even what happened.
Left front or right rear? I learned this from Mick. Left
Listen,
front.
Linda, I ran
front.
over things, whatever they were.
Left front or right rear. So fast lane, all the way over, riding the white line, there's stuff there, or far slow lane, and I don't know why it's the right rear, but you can tell where 2 people drive. And for the most part, I like to be in that left fast lane, and mine's always left front. I don't know why. It proves to be, 75% of the time.
Is it the
left
crown of
front.
the road?
Well, left front over the white line, like you're riding that white far.
I know, but is that why? And then the right rear is the slow
It's
lane?
just where
Is that what you're
debris
saying?
goes. It's where debris gets pushed out the side of the road or falls off a vehicle.
Like Franklin right now, where it looks like the whole trash truck got emptied on the road?
Yeah, like the windstorm came through and there's everybody's trash cans all over the road.
No, it was like this morning. It was horrible.
Oh, God.
It was literally like a trash truck just dumped the trash on the street. It was horrible.
Don't we pay taxes to where they maintain the roads and fix them? Because all of our roads around here are like driving on a dirt road. They're horrible.
That's because you drive an F-350.
Yeah. Well, your little car isn't no better. It's just as rough as mine.
Oh,
Makes me want to go get an F-150, but then I can't tow anything in the world I want to. I like having that option of towing. So that's why, I can't afford another vehicle. So I choose a big tow style rig, right? Where
what are other cheaper repairs that you see turn into big things? Oil change. Everybody knows oil change, or they should.
Yeah.
If they haven't, we're beating a dead horse right now, and they need to.
Yeah. Well, that's why I went with my F-350. I went and got that upgraded rear diff cover that holds an extra 2 quarts, and it's finned aluminum, keeps the oil cool. And the transmission, it holds an extra 8 or 10 quarts in that huge transmission pan. That way it takes way longer to break that fluid down. Plus those fins, like an old motorcycle. The old motorcycles, how they had the big fins on them. Those fins, because they weren't water cooled, that's what kept it cool. So now those big fins make a huge difference on keeping that. Once a fluid gets too hot, it breaks down. It's no good. It's junk. So if you can stop that, technically the fluid really doesn't wear out. But it's just over time, dirt and parts wear out and turn to that black crap, right?
Well, there's so many moving parts.
So many moving parts.
I don't even know what I can relate it to that everybody would really understand of like the gears on the clock, right? But I don't know. There's got to be a simple analogy that I can like relate.
Yeah. Well,
everything that moves that needs to be replaced instead of I'm just pushing my button on my car and it drives.
Everybody understands tires and brakes for the most part. 30 seconds, the top of Lincoln's head for all the older generation. That tire is legally worn out. It's not safe to drive on. We had George, old George from Power Plus, and he brought his really nice F-350, and he had these Toyo MTs. Still 80-90% tread, but had cracks going between the tread. And I warned him about this last year, and he didn't think nothing of it. So he went on a trip, and he was towing his camper. And I had warned him about this, and one of his tires blew out because they were weather checked on the trailer, not his truck. So he brings it in. That's why he brought his truck, and I did a new set of Toyo MTs on it. He's like, yeah, I wasn't going to do it, but then you told me about that, and I had a big blowout on my trailer, and it was really scary. And he said, I remember you telling me about the tires.
Well, because rubber expires. And that's the whole thing, too. A lot of the moms, at least when I was a mom of that age, don't know that car seats expire, too.
Yeah.
Like, you could be putting your kid in an expired car seat. Like, and if that car seat's expired, then that's not safety regulated for that baby.
Right. But, he was like, I thought it was going to be one of those videos where you see the trailer going all over the freeway and hanging off the ledge of it. I was like, oh my God.
Off the Twin Falls Bridge.
Yeah. So
you seen that one?
He was like, yeah, no, let's get these tires done. And they were expensive, right? Those 37, 13, 50,
yeah, but I feel
20s.
like he is of that type that reads his manual. Yeah. So he is your golden child. But a lot of people don't.
Right.
Again, they're just trying to eat right now.
Yeah.
They're wondering if they can even put gas in their car right now.
Yeah, some of them. I get that, but still, you don't want to. Are you going to let things go so bad to where it's that dangerous?
If I'm ignorant to the fact of how bad it is, sure.
Like George said, ignorance is bliss.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
I know that's a hard one. I guess if you, I don't know. That's a really hard. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, you to
offend
see
anyone. Right?
Well, we probably already have, but
oh, well.
I'm telling them they're all driving shit
if
boxes.
Whatever I've said already offends somebody, then
they're all shit boxes. That's all I see is the hamsters in the cars now.
yeah.
No, but again, it gets me A to B. That's all I care about because that's all I need.
Yeah.
And until it does not anymore, whether that's through collision or breakdown.
See, me and Alec, I was talking to this with Alec.
But look about with me and my coveted 68 Mustang. That thing was a shitbox.
Yeah.
Okay, and I thought I was the coolest thing ever driving that.
Yeah. here it is with me, and I told Alec this actually this morning. I says, I let a pot of coffee sit too long, and when I was younger, I was like, just drink it. It tastes bitter. It tastes like crap. Now I realize it upsets my stomach, and now I like, 30 minutes, it's trash. I regrind my beans. I like craftsmanship. I don't want to live in that mindset of I'm not enough. I'll never be enough. I deserve to live off the bare minimum. And that goes back to what you attract.
Totally.
Right. And
100%.
I don't want to attract that. Like if that's how somebody else wants to live, I don't recommend it because
manifestation works both ways.
Living the bare minimum really sucks when you're here for the short amount of time and you can manifest the most beautiful and have the most beautiful and create the most beautiful things. So that's where I want to live. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, but that's where I want to live because I live my whole life at the bare minimum. And I'm grateful for everything I have. Don't get me wrong, because that's how I live my life. Like I'm grateful just to have this meal. Like I don't care what it is. Feed me anything. You know my mindset. I will freaking eat anything. But I realize that
except leftovers.
I really enjoy the better things in life and creating wonderful, beautiful things, right? Like that's my goal now is to just everything I do, touch, feel, see.
Are we going there again?
Yeah.
Okay, but so
because that's where I was out with Alec. I'm like, don't live. I told him, don't live in that mindset.
Yes, mindset. Yes. Until you have the contrast of both sides of the coin, you don't know what you want.
Yeah, until you've seen both sides, right? And now you know.
Not even seen, experienced, felt. Because there are people out there, and again, manifestation goes both ways, good and bad, neutral, whatever you want to call it. Because there's people that we see that they're living in their victim stance and the rich are bad. How dare they have money? Because I live in lack, they're not allowed to have money. So they're attracting lack because that's what their focus is on.
Yeah.
They are not, they're thinking, I want what they have, but I don't have what they have.
Yeah.
So that's the main focus is lack. So that's what you're going to get.
Half my life, I lived in a lack and poor mindset, and I refuse to live there anymore. Like,
that goes back to beliefs.
Yeah.
So, and attachment.
What are you willing to tolerate? That's what Tony Robbins likes to put out there is what are you willing to tolerate?
Yeah, the pain has to be greater.
Yeah. And I'm not willing to tolerate a negative, poor mindset anymore. Like I refuse to live there.
Yeah. No, I totally get it.
Like
I don't like excuses. Excuses
honestly,
really irritate me.
I guess for the ones that don't see my point, I honestly would not want to live in the world anymore if I have to keep living there for the rest of my life. Like it's a short trip. Like I'm going to have better. I'm going to create better. And I don't care what it takes. Like I refuse. I will never live there again. I lived there for 30 years of my life. Never will I ever be there again. But I'm not being conceited. I'm being like, this is me and I'm not going to put up with it anymore. Like I love.
So you're embodying the identity, which is totally fair. Yes.
Craftsmanship. And I watch these old guys.
But the people who are living in lack, at least the people I have had my own experience with and my perception of it is they are living in the embodiment of lack.
Yeah.
And you're not. That's the difference.
Yeah. And I was there for a long time.
You may you may have been there. Dude, look at how we came up here.
Yeah.
Literally traded a 1997 Pontiac Sunfire for 1980 suburban
for a couple weeks
with the Dora the Explorer sheet stapled on the thing.
Then lived in a trailer
that doesn't even belong there anymore. Now it's high-rise condos, right?
Yep.
And and worked our way up. Like we came from we came up here with $2,000 in cash and $700 in food stamps.
And I was thankful the whole way.
Yeah.
Every step. But
that is the difference.
Right. And I guess I don't mean that I came from greatness, right? Because I didn't, but I will never live there that mindset ever again. I don't know. I
No,
guess,
I understand.
and I see all these I go to the car shows, and I'm building some pretty cool things, and
Oh my God, but why would you build such a beautiful car just to let it sit in the
yeah.
garage?
yeah,
No.
I'm gonna cruise mine once in a while. I'm gonna cruise mine all the time.
Okay, but if I had that car, like,
Yeah,
it's not going to sit in the garage.
but it's beautiful craftsmanship. Like,
Okay, and if you don't want to race it on Firebird, fine, I get that. I wouldn't want to race it on Firebird either, but I'm driving that thing.
yeah, I just want to create and build beautiful things, right? Like everything we do at the shop. Like once again, Dave's Auto Center. I see something and I take it and I make it better no matter what it is. And sometimes I got to realize my time, and it's like, do I want to devote this time to this? Is this my customer? Because I plan on making this better for the rest of its life. So I don't know that I got to remember I need to remember our customers and hope they realize I'm trying, no matter what it is, everything that surrounds me, I'm trying to make it better. I really am. Like, that's my whole goal. Like, anything I work with or touch or do, I want it to be better than it was. I don't know.
And is that why you deny some of the cars? Because you can't make it better?
Is that why what?
You deny some of the cars? You're like,
Yeah, right. If they're not a
because
good
you can't
fit for
make
us,
it better.
right?
Yeah.
And I know they're going to be upset the whole way. And
Or it's just going to be a domino effect where you
Yeah.
fix something and
Yeah.
something else is going to
Yep.
break and
Yep.
something else is going to break and
Well,
something
we
else is
had-
going to break.
we had one come in from the dealership. It was actually my friend's daughter, and I've known him since 17 or 18. I started working on his stuff, and I did one job for his daughter, and she's a little difficult to work with, and she was, really upset with the dealership for saying it needs this, this, and this, and a wiring harness. And I said, yeah, it does need that. They're right, And then she says, well, I want you to do it. And I was like, kind of cringe, because she was already being really rude and mean with the dealership, and I get that, but
Expectations.
yeah, we did the job, and I 6 months later, the AC's not working off and on. Has kind of been a problem, and I started doing some diagnostic work. That way she doesn't say, hey, well, it was you. I see some small leak here and there, and there's a huge leak at the back of the car. And we did a power steering pump and a wiring harness up front. There's a rear HVAC inside the car, and the inside air conditioning is leaking like a sieve inside the cab. When I charged up and seen why it wasn't working, it was working when I dropped it off, right? But there's nothing we did at the back of the car for the rear AC, and we never touched the AC. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like
A domino effect.
Yeah, domino effect. And that's probably one of the customers hopefully she realized, maybe she takes it somewhere else and says, yeah, no, they're right. Like it's leaking back there. I don't really see how they could have ever affected that. Right. And if not, oh, well, I know we didn't have any effect on the AC.
But again, it's an older car though too, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like 2010,
15.
15.
Yeah.
So it's almost 20 years old?
15,
15.
11 years old.
Yeah.
So it's 11 years old, TPMS sensors. The batteries typically last around 6 years. So sometimes you get 10s. It all depends. You could have some brand new vehicles having AC problems right off the bat, but 10, 11 years and you're having AC issues,
Things crack and wear.
Yeah. Rubber deteriorates, just like you had said earlier, and it wears and tears, right?
Some of the older gaskets are what, paper?
Yeah. Yep. And these things are designed to be replaced or repaired, right? So the only way to make them last is restore them. And then you get beautiful creations from some of the older gentlemen, right?
Yeah, but then at what point is it just easier to buy a new car and just maintain the car
so
payment?
it needs to be sentimental or something that you want to create, design, and restore and make, so.
Like my 68 Mustang.
Yeah. Are we done?
Are we done?
I think so.
You're done?